Let's take a look at some first half highlights. This is the touchdown from about 9 yards out, and finding Nader alone in the end zone. It's the quarterback, Brett Lancaster, for the first score of the game.
Came off a nice play-action fake, and the unsung hero of the first half as we get a look at some of the McHenry crazies out here in a beautiful almost said late August, early September evening. Here's highlight number 2, and it is...
That Sitz again. This is the 85-yard run. And he's outrunning some awfully fast defensive backs for the Warriors. And
that play started out rather innocently, a little straight run right up the middle. You figure he's going to get 3, 4, 5 yards. All of a sudden, he's out in the open field, and Rick Sitz putting that speed training to good use.
That made it 14-0 after the extra point. And then later on, it was the third touchdown of the game. And this is Sitz again. This time, nothing all that fancy from the 19. Was touched but once, and some great blocking. We should credit that offensive line because he had a pretty clear trip into the end zone. As you take a look at the fans getting resettled here for the second half.
His fellow running back, Jeff Fontana, putting a good block in there too. McHenry fans enjoying the weather, enjoying the ball game, not enjoying the score right now as you see Libertyville up 21-0 at halftime. By the way, Coach Kuzieski mentioning the trip up to Ohio, taking on the storied tradition of Massillon High School Perry. 25,000 seat, by the way, high school stadium. What he forgot to mention in the passing league game, they beat him. Libertyville beat Massillon, Ohio, so not only went up there and played against that great tradition, they came out with a W.
And don't forget, next week we will have another North Suburban Conference matchup, the Zion Benton Zeebies against the Warren Blue Devils, and what a showdown that will be in Gurnee. So Zion Benton and Warren next week on Comcast. And don't forget, we have all sorts of exciting games throughout our coverage area this year. You can see teams from the northwest suburbs, the north suburbs, the west, the southwest, you name it. We have you covered here. High school football 2004 on Comcast. Besides this game you are enjoying this week, we will also have the Oak Lawn and the Oak Forest matchup as well as Sika Orange Conference play begins. So the teams are back on the field and exercising and warming up and getting ready for the second half. So we'll take a break. Right after this, this is the Comcast Daily Herald Game of the Week. Welcome back to McCracken Field and McHenry High School, McHenry, Illinois. We're getting ready to start our second half of action here of our Comcast Daily Herald Game of the Week. I'm Perry Williams, along with the coach, John Cohn, Don Johnson on the field. Great to have you along with us here for Game 2 of an outstanding Comcast schedule. Once again this season, Libertyville leading McHenry after the first half by the score of 21-0. One touchdown through the air as you saw, the other two on the ground by Tommy Sitz.
A lot of people will tell you, Perry, a lot of coaches will tell you most important part of any football game, first 3, 4, 5 minutes of the third quarter. It sets the tempo for the all-important second half. But let's see what coaching adjustments both teams made at halftime, and let's see which team comes out with the emotion ready to play here in the beginning of the second half.
Partain will be kicking off, Figueroa, and Jake Schwader deep for the Warriors of McHenry.
Football game on Friday night, soccer game on Saturday afternoon. Going to be a busy Labor Day weekend for young Matt Partain, the senior.
It's teed up, and here it is, another booming kick. And it goes into the end zone, ricocheting off the shoulder pads of Schwader.
Got to get that young man the football a little bit more often. Good look at him right there, Jake Schwader. A very good compliment to Noel Figueroa, very quick track star, as we mentioned, as are a good number of the skill position players for the McHenry Warriors. Let's take a look at them offensively. There's the Libertyville defense. Starting unit has not given up a score, not even a field goal in the first 5 quarters that they've played. 3 quarters last week, first half of this ball game. So let's see how they do here in the second half.
Well, back they come to the line. Some good spring in their step, led by their quarterback Jeremy Fisher under center.
Keep an eye on number 22, Figueroa, well contained in the first half.
To the air off the first play of the second half. Dangerous territory as D'Angelo, I think, sensing perhaps a little freelance or impromptu, cut the route. They went back in the middle, and the throw went to the sideline. And in dangerous territory, actually, is the quarterback playing, or check that, number 7 for Libertyville, on the play, and that's Kuzieski.
Yeah, well, the result, not good, Perry, but I like the play call. We talked about in the first half, the one big thing McHenry needs to do is they have to establish at least a passing threat. Open up the defense, stretch the defense a little bit to allow their running game to go and on the first play. And again, good coverage by Libertyville, but I like the play call coming right off the bat by head coach Chad Hedlett.
2nd and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Figueroa, the lone back in the formation. And he has the football, but not much going there on the left side of the line. Picks up a yard, perhaps, so 3rd and long coming up.
They have not mentioned the McHenry offensive line. It's a good one, Perry, led by their left tackle, big number 66, Tyler Lands, 6'5", 265 pounds, still growing, only a junior. They got Matt Leiwald at left guard, Joe Reddick, the center, Noah Picozzi, the right guard, and Jake Moot, the right tackle, the O-line for the McHenry Warriors. Pretty good size, and Lands is going to be a good one, only a junior.
3rd and 9 at the 21-yard line. They stacked and split out of the eye. A little pump fake. Now being chased, rolling to his right and going down and throwing it in. It will be a penalty coming up against the Warriors. It'll be a grounding call.
Now what a great individual defensive play. The Libertyville team on the rush. 3 or 4 guys on the chase, but Alex Ray, number 64, takes him down. Watching the replay. Good idea to pass. Bad idea when you don't have protection. Libertyville has been able to put pressure on Jeremy Fisher all game long, and it was Alex Ray. Tough to see on that replay, but number 64, relentless pursuit, trips him up. And Perry, that Libertyville defense, impressive so far in this game.
4th now and 25. Ball at the 5-yard line, so they mark them all the way back. So loss of down and the yardage.
And McHenry trying to come out passing on 2 of their first 3 downs, but Jeremy Fisher never really able to set back in the pocket, never been able to get comfortable in this game, in the passing game, because of the pass rush of the Libertyville white jersey defense.
And Klink standing on the back line of the end zone.
Not much room to work with.
And there's the handoff now to Burns. Burns with it, still on his feet. Runs in his own man, but still cutting back to the near sideline. Here's Kevin Burns at the 20, at the 15. He loses the football. McHenry has it back. One too many moves.
Looked like Don Boro, I believe, number 55 on the recovery. Kevin Burns, a sensational run back. Looked like for a while he had a chance of breaking it. Watching the replay here, the reverse. They faked it in the first half. This time, no fake. They execute the reverse, and watch Kevin Burns on the cutback. 2 broken tackles. Then he puts on the speed, and somewhere here, 3 broken tackles. Not even hit. He just had lost possession of the ball. Yep.
Yeah.
Boy,
so after all that, it's 1st and 10. McHenry at the 16. One of the more entertaining plays of the evening, and the first turnover of the night.
On a great tackle right there, Libertyville defensively. Different guys every play. Sean Morgan is not one guy doing the damage, Perry. Different stars, but the bottom line is the Libertyville defense just flying around the football, allowing McHenry to get nothing going offensively. And the young man in the return, Kevin Burns. We don't call his name that often as a defensive back. He started for him last year, and the reason is teams, including Lincoln Way last week, they are throwing away from Kevin Burns. He is so good at that defensive back spot, they're going to try to pick on the other side. So if you don't hear Kevin Burns' name called a lot defensively, it's because the offense is showing him the ultimate respect. They're running away from number 25.
2nd and 9 at the 17-yard line. Quick and nice grab for the first down. Once again, it's Matt D'Angelo. D'Angelo, very impressive receiver, good concentration, and he has pretty good hands, too, as he held on that time and got the first down for the Warriors. Let's take a look.
He's just an impressive athlete. Watching the replay, number 41, Matt D'Angelo, played almost every play of this football game, defensively, offensively, special team. Great catch, and he's able to keep his momentum and pick down first down yardage. He's another one of those guys who went downstate last year in the 4x200 relay, 4x100 relay. I believe he was an alternate on that team, but still was able to make it downstate with the track team. Very good athlete.
Good for 12 yards. Figueroa trying to turn the corner.
Oh.
Kuzieski was giving chase, and closing was Romito, Dave Romito.
Closing and finishing, David Romito. And again, the impressive thing, with this Libertyville defense is the balance. They got a ton of guys that can play. Most defenses we watch, Perry, 1 or 2 guys are the main tacklers. This Libertyville team getting contributions from actually more than 11 players. We've seen 13, 14 different guys hit some big hits defensively. That time it was David Romito.
So Figueroa pick up a 5. That's one of his actually bigger gains of the evening.
Romito had a big game last week, 6 tackles and an interception. We mentioned them running away from number 25, throwing away from Kevin Burns. If they do, they got to throw the way of David Romito, number 24. He's answered the call thus far this year.
He's on D'Angelo now. Another play action fake. Oh! From behind and going down is the quarterback, and coming on in for the sack was Gavigan as Ryan came in for a big loss on the play.
Ryan Gavigan making a play at our Daily Herald Comcast player of the game. What a ball game he's having. Look at the quickness of Ryan Gavigan, number 21, coming in and finishing him off with the big sack. Nothing better if you're a defensive player. 6 feet, 203 pounds coming in from his defensive end spot. He started for him last year.
Loss of 8 on the play. Sets up a 3rd and 13 now at the 26-yard line.
You know, when you think about it, a team like Libertyville last year, when they go that deep into the playoffs, they really have 3 or 4 more weeks of extra practice than all the other teams that don't even make the playoffs. So certainly Libertyville's young juniors last year, seniors now benefited from that extra time.
And they beat this McHenry team in the quarterfinals. Another play action fake. He has a man on the sideline and overshoots D'Angelo. D'Angelo's open for a while.
Good coverage by David Romito over there, number 24. McHenry coming out, throwing the football here in the second half. Again, the success, the result has not been tremendous, but I like the adjustment that Chad Hetlett has made at halftime, trying to open up that Libertyville secondary, and I think eventually you're going to see a Figueroa or a Schwader break open, Perry.
Klink will go back once again and saying he's done a great job punting tonight. Certainly has more than just a kernel of truth in it.
Yeah, he's an outstanding player, tight end, linebacker and kicker, basketball player, track star, multi-sport athlete here at McHenry.
And here's Fontana, and he is brought down after just a short gain on the return as Boro came in and buried him.
That's the young man who made the fumble recovery the time before, Dan Boro, having a heck of a game on special teams here in the second half. Good look at Jeff Fontana. How impressive was he in the first half? Tom Sitz had the big runs, but Jeff Fontana had some great blocks and some brilliant runs himself. And Chad Hetlett and the offensive group of McHenry trying to regroup. Talking to Jake Schwader over there, number 24.
Our first real look at Libertyville on offense here in the second half. 7:26 remaining in the third. McHenry really stacking people up, and here they come. But turning the corner is Nader. Nader with a block, and he is on the near sideline at the 30, at the 20. Nader still on his feet. He's inside the 10-yard line. Goes Kyle Nader.
Well, he's the third speedster of that 3-headed monster in the backfield. He's got unbelievable speed, too, Kyle Nader. I don't know if we're going to get a look at the replay, Perry, but Jeff Fontana, number 32, watch here in the replay. He throws a tremendous block coming out of the backfield. And then the rest of it is the speed of Kyle Nader. Nice little shifty move right there. Gets into the open field, and then it's just sheer speed. And, boy, there's been a lot of replays today of black jerseys chasing the Libertyville running backs. Not a good sight if you're a McHenry fan.
First and goal at the 10. They go to the air. And inside the 5, the pass is complete. As Nader again, very active. And Lancaster, as you said, Coach, very accurate. They just over 50% last week, but he didn't really have to throw it much.
A lot of coaches will tell you the biggest improvement a team makes is from week 1 to week 2, and I think quarterback Brett Lancaster is symbolizing that. A little bit nervous in his first quarterback appearance. Pretty good in the first game, but he has been outstanding here in his game 2 as a varsity starting quarterback.
To give now to Sitz, and Sitz is just covered up.
What happened?
And brought down, and I don't know, one of those.
Come on, no touchdown for Tom. Come on.
Credit Tim LeGray, who made a nice stop behind the line of scrimmage, so another third down coming up.
Guy's slumping. He only got 2 yards that time. Nice tackle by Zach Banwart, number 52. He and Nate Brothers, the play of the defense. Nice job by McHenry up front as they win the battle of the line of scrimmage that time. And we mentioned McHenry is an outstanding defense. They're obviously being put to the test by Libertyville last night, or tonight, but they were brilliant last week against Crystal Lake.
So Lancaster sets them down with Fontana, the lone setback behind him. And there you see some movement. Another penalty coming up against Libertyville. So we'll make it a 3rd and goal from the 7. Now we'll take a look at what happened here along that offensive line, the left side.
You see number 82 for Libertyville caught in the act by our ever-present Comcast camera crew, and got a little assist from the McHenry defensive player too.
Yeah. Thank you very much, the Warriors say. So 3rd and goal at the 7.
Looked like it was Jack Howard, I believe, if we got the number correct. But either way, Libertyville backs up once again. See if Brett Lancaster goes in the air early second half.
And now there's a whistle, and the Wildcats will take a timeout. A timeout, Libertyville. 3rd and goal at 7, 5:24 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Mentioned the press box up here at McHenry. Perry, always one of the adventures of announcing these games is climbing the stairs up at McHenry. And for fans, I guess the best way to describe it is there's very few rides at a Great America that have a greater fear factor than climbing up the steps here at the McHenry press box.
Well, we talked about the strength of the North Suburban Lake Conference, and this is a year ago where you had Libertyville and Stevenson, and then Warren, and then Antioch, Lake Forest, and Mundelein, and all those teams really improved. We will see, of course, Libertyville tonight, but Stevenson with that big win last week, and Warren too. And then, but watch out, Mundelein. They're building a tradition there too, and Lake Forest, Antioch, and there you see what they've done so far this year. And Coach, you mentioned it, 6 games by that conference, 6 victories in week 1.
Only conference in the state of Illinois that went undefeated. That Mundelein team, Dave Whitson taking over the ex-Crystal Lake coach. They got Paul Adams, the Hall of Fame coach from Deerfield, helping out. His son Alex Adams coaching. They got a veteran coaching staff there. So Mundelein, Antioch going to be much, much better. North Suburban Lake, one of the toughest football conferences around.
3rd and goal from the 7. Sits. Now to the air. Looking for the corner of the end zone. And it's a touchdown. Second touchdown pass for Lancaster tonight.
And a perfect one, once again, show and touch, this time on the reception end. Defensive star Greg Larson, who also plays a little tight end, but a beautiful play by Lancaster. Great design. Watch on the replay here, little play action. There's the fake. When your running game is that good, it sets up your passing game. And watch the touch and the accuracy of Brett Lancaster. There was not a lot of room, Perry, to put that ball. If he threw it too hard, it's out of the end zone. Too soft, it's intercepted. We continue to be impressed by the senior Brett Lancaster.
High snap, but getting it down. The extra point is up and good. So with 5:18 remaining in the 3rd quarter, Libertyville strikes again, and they now lead at 28-0 as we take another look at the touchdown. And we haven't called Larson's name all that much tonight, but he snuck out there, and a nice concentration by Greg to score the touchdown. So they got a couple through the air tonight and a couple Tom sits on the ground TD scores through the Wildcats.
I'll tell you, Brett Lancaster, that was just a beautiful pass. And you're right, Greg Larson, primarily a defensive player, very good from his defensive end, defensive tackle spot, but he will play wide receiver also. Kenley probably their number 1 receiver, but Larson, he played there last year a little bit as a junior. Santino Panico, the touchdown machine from last year, playing at Nebraska.
Now, and coach, you talk about coaching change. They have one there too.
Yep, went from a running offense to a passing one with Bill Callahan of the Oakland Raiders taking over. Luke Slater, of course, played last year. Chris Jansen, their outstanding quarterback. They had an outstanding big kid in the offensive line. Eric Pritchard, too, that Libertyville team last year. Best in school history, but this one this year might challenge.
Some great teams in 7A. Oswego off to a good start, as you saw in Comcast last week. And, of course, Prospect with a victory, too, and they'll be strong again.
That young man right there is an additional weapon they did not expect they would have. Matt Partain winning the kicking job off the soccer team last week. Boomed a couple in the end zone.
And he's done that again tonight. This one a little bit shy, but once again hard to handle by Schwader, but he does pick it up. And now the reverse. Here's Figueroa on the reverse at the 30. And caught from behind. Nice job on the special teams by the Warriors.
Yeah, well, Libertyville has tried that twice tonight, the reverse play off the kickoff return. One was a fake, one was actual. McHenry figured they might as well try it too. And anytime you get Noel Figueroa in the action, that's a good thing. He almost broke it that time. Well executed reverse play by McHenry. Watch.
Let's take a look at it. Then it kind of bobbled, and then
good concentration by Schwader. There's the handoff to Figueroa. You see the white jerseys going the way of number 24. Well done by McHenry. First drive of the first half, they tried to pass the ball. Let's see the play call here for second drive.
Now to the air, under pressure again, and going down again, a loose football. And let's see who comes up with it.
Boy, I'll tell you, that Libertyville pass rush just all over Jeremy Fisher. He has had no time to throw the football. First guy to get to him, Greg Larson, the guy who made the touchdown catch, Perry. There's a look at Jeremy Fisher under siege so far every time he goes back to pass.
Well, the Warriors recover.
Nice
second
smile.
and 15 coming up, a loss of 5.
Yeah, see, I like that from Chad Hetler, keeping his quarterback relaxed. The smile, sometimes it's not so much the words, it's the body language that says a lot. That's a nice bit of coaching there by Chad Hetler to keep his quarterback under control. And what a great defensive play by Greg Larson. You make the great catch in the end zone for a touchdown, and then you get a sack defensively. That's not a bad one, too.
Ball resting at the 34-yard line, second and 15.
Here's a new look, 3 in the backfield. Now they split.
And now another flag.
Of course, under Mike Knoll, they ran the wing T offense, very similar to Libertyville, very much a run-oriented team. And Chad Hetlet and his offensive staff going to open it up a little bit. You see the call from the official there, but
delay of game.
They have switched the offense. Now they're going to run out of the pro set, multiple different looks, and they will clearly throw the ball more than they have in the past.
Now at the 29, second and 20.
Some people at McHenry called it the wing tee. Others here called it the win tee, as they made, 14 out of 15 conference championships?
Playoff 16 straight years.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, 11 conference outright titles. And going down again is Figueroa.
Yeah, you look at number 17. You don't think of number 17 as a great number for defense, Perry. 17 usually maybe a backup quarterback,
right.
a
wide receiver.
But Matt Norsha, he defies the number. He is one tough cookie on the inside. Number 17 making yet another tackle. So active on the inside from his linebacker spot.
So third and a bunch coming up. As Jeremy Fisher gets the play and brings it into his huddle and brings his team up to the line. Wide right is Paul Wierspa. Now back to pass, straight drop and looking long. Incomplete, and a flag goes down.
Going to get Kevin Burns, number 25. There's a fine line. That's Matt D'Angelo right there, the intended target. Another call from the refs. They have been busy tonight. A lot of yellow laundry spread throughout McCracken Field tonight. Watch on the replay here. There's a fine line between great defensive coverage and a penalty, and Kevin Burns might have just gently tapped his way over that fine line. Let's watch on the replay. Boy, that's a tough call. That's a tough call, because if there's no flag that goes down, the coaches and your teammates are calling it a great defensive play. That's a tough call on Kevin Burns. Looked pretty clean from here. And the one thing that is evident, Perry, is when Jeremy Fisher, the senior quarterback for McHenry, when he gets time to get back in the pocket, he can pass the ball. So the key is giving him some pass protection. Tonight they've really struggled in that area.
Well, that pass was only, they had a 3rd and 20. The pass was only 10 yards, but he was hit when he threw the ball, but it was good enough for an automatic first down. All the way up to the 45-yard line. So it is now 2nd and 10.
Mentioned Jeremy, good look at him right there, starting defensive back for the Warriors last year under Mike Knoll, but makes the switch to quarterback, freshman, sophomore level quarterback some, so it's not a completely new position. Chad Hetlet, the head coach, calling the offensive signals.
.317 remaining in the third quarter. And, oh boy, Fisher just goes down again, and number 63 came storming in. That's Sean Morgan again.
Yeah, it's a different number every time, but the one constant is the greatness of the Libertyville defense. Sean Morgan's had a couple of big plays today. You never know where they're coming from, what angle, or who it's going to be. But, boy, are they playing some serious defense. Mike Jones, the defensive coordinator, has got to be awfully pleased watching the replay. Sean Morgan almost bit on the fake. Then he gets good pursuit and good gang tackling from a couple of his teammates. Unscored upon through 3 quarters last week, Perry, and they're 2 minutes and 42 seconds away from having their 6th unscored upon quarter, and they're doing it against good teams. Good look at the Libertyville sidelines right there, feeling pretty comfortable with the 28-0 lead, but, they're doing it against Lincoln Way Central, McHenry, a couple of football powers.
Another flag down, Coach. 3rd and 15, and on the run is Fisher and running for his life and out of bounds, but he has 2 Libertyville tacklers on him as he does go out, but let's see what the flag's all about.
Ryan Gavigan, number 21, was on the initial chase, and then a couple of guys brought him down. Jeremy Fisher, by the way, another track star. He also went downstate with that McHenry track team, so he's got tremendous speed coming out of the quarterback position. Wait for the call.
Yeah, against McHenry.
They're going to have to ice down the head referee, Jim Glickert, after the game. He's getting a workout out here. I have noticed, though, he's able to throw the flag and the rest of the refs with both left hand and right hand, showing outstanding dexterity.
No question about it. Ambidextrous he might be, as they will decline the penalty and force McHenry to punt it away. So Burns and Fontana are deep. Here's Klink, standing on his own 30-yard line. Punts it away at the 34, end-over-end punt.
Returnable.
Yep. Now picked up off the turf by Fontana. Fontana returns it, and there's a pile there, but I think he was already down.
Yeah, Andrew Vargas and Jake Schwader coming up with a special teams tackle. Not a great punt from Andy Klink, but good coverage. Good look at number 50's had a couple of big plays. Dan Borrow also. I'll tell you the one thing about Jeff Fontana, Perry, that if you're scouting him, it's going to be awful tough for one guy to bring him down. You got to send 2-3 people to this kid to get him down. His balance and strength is terrific.
So 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. The ball resting on their own 36-yard line. Lancaster brings them to the line.
28-0 lead. Let's see if they get some ball control here. Yep, whistle blew there. They kind of messed up the center exchange. You see the frustration from Brett Lancaster there. So even with the 28-0 lead, there's going to be some things for the Wildcats to work on when they watch the game films, Perry. And see Brett Lancaster coming over, getting the play call from quarterback coach Jim Shore. Carl Jenerick, the longtime offensive coordinator for Libertyville, up in the press box along with us. Probably listening to our broadcast, Perry, so make sure you say nice things about
I say nice things about everybody. Even you, Coach.
His wife could be listening. My wife never listens, though.
We always say nice things about our crew, too, and even our producer director tonight, Frank Granito. And sits the ball carrier, and they've done a nice job here defensively. They do have one touchdown on the board, does Libertyville, but McHenry defensively a little more cohesive in the second half.
And in particular on that young man right there, Tommy Sitz. Nice tackle that by number 42, Zach Lilly, and that's a name to remember, Perry. Only a sophomore. He's going to be a good one for McHenry. And by the way, our outstanding cameraman slash producer, Pete Lilly.
Yeah.
Pete has a son named Zach that goes to Huntley, so there's actually 2 Zach Lillys. One a marching band specialist, one a football star working around the Fox Valley area.
And here's the give to Nader. Nader on the near sideline looking for a block, and he is in the McHenry territory, driven out of bounds at the 47. So a first down for Libertyville. Let's take another look at it.
Coming up limping a little bit. Big second half. Star of the second half thus far for Libertyville. Number 30. Straight sweep. Nothing fancy. Takes the ball to the outside. Good individual move. Almost loses his balance. Big yards for Kyle Nader, number 30. He had a huge first half last week. Today it's the second half where he's coming around.
35 seconds and counting here remaining in the third quarter.
Boy, really, that wing T offense with all the weapons they've got, Perry, really keeps the defense at a disadvantage. You just can't key on 1 or 2 guys, especially when Lancaster passing as well as he has today.
And here sits the ball carrier again, following his blocker, squirts through, good up, a good field or move up field, and close to that first down marker, just shy by maybe half a yard. So pick up a 9.5 yards on the carry.
Look like the sophomore Lilly, number 42, among others, bringing him down. You see the clock winding down. Tom Sitz, Coach Randy Kuzieski talking about it, their most improved player, showing that hard work in the summertime, in the weight room, in the speed camps, all that work and hard sweat that you put in the offseason will play in the regular season. Tom sits living proof of that through the first 2 games.
3 quarters in the books. Your score, Libertyville 28, McHenry nothing. You're watching high school football exclusively right here on Comcast.
Player of the game.
Sets. McCracken Field here, McHenry, Illinois. I'm Perry Williams, along with the coach John Cohn and Don Johnson along the sideline. Great to have you with us here on Comcast. A beautiful evening for high school football. We are in the 4th quarter now with 11:52 remaining in a regulation time. Your score, Libertyville 28, McHenry nothing. Libertyville ran the first play of the 4th quarter, and yet another penalty which will be declined. Now let's go on the field and hear from the aforementioned Don Johnson.
Well, last season in the Libertyville backfield was Panico, Fontana, and Haas. Panico up at Nebraska now, and Haas moving on. And, of course, Fontana, that is Kevin Fontana, is trying out at Illinois State. He was the running back that led Libertyville last year. But Jeff is doing a great job here today. Let's go back upstairs to John and Perry.
All right, thanks very much, DJ. So now it is 3rd and long, 3rd and 7 at the 45-yard line. Good look at Brett Lancaster, the senior quarterback, and he loses the snap from center. They've had that happen a couple of times here tonight. Despite their 28-0 lead, I know Coach Kusiewski will address those penalties and some of those miscues next week because they have some big games coming up in conference play. Let's take another look at it.
Yeah, watch the replay. Number 61 in there. That is Brian Laspice. And normally their center is Pat Engel, but either way, you can be sure at practice time, Brett Lancaster is going to be spending some quality time working on center snaps with a Pat Engel and with a Brian Laspice at the 2 centers for Libertyville. They got to work on that. Can't have bad exchanges.
A rare moment of the game so far tonight as Libertyville will line up in punting formation, and now they will take a timeout. So they burn another timeout with 4th down coming up. Ball at midfield, 4th and 13. Fontana with a punt last week went for 22 yards.
Yep.
Good look at the award-winning McHenry High School cheerleader squad. They've done an outstanding job here tonight.
Yeah, halftime they put on some great entertainment. Not only the cheerleaders, the pom-pom squad, the marching band, as you mentioned before. Yeah. Always a great atmosphere here for high school football.
Okay, here's the Fox Valley Conference of a year ago. We talked about McHenry going through it again, 8-0 unbeaten, 10-2 overall. Their only losses actually to Libertyville at the beginning of the season and at the end. And there you see Crystal Lake South strong again.
Not a losing team in the bunch.
Nope, not at all. And here's the continuation of the conference play a year ago. One of the best conferences in the state year in, year out. And they'll be strong again this year.
Cary Grove, one of the teams much improved. Remember that great tradition that Bruce Kay and company have had. They're back this year.
And going down after tackling the punt and fumbling it and getting it back was Matt D'Angelo, but a good special teams play by Libertyville.
Yeah, on the coverage, John Koopman, number 20, is the special teams coming through. That was a tough play. Tough play for D'Angelo because you had to try and field it, but it was bouncing off the turf. Tough play. He did pretty well, Perry, just to hang on to the football and not turn it over. You get a look at the Warrior Crazies, who are not discouraged by the score, and there's the
updated 2004 Fox Valley Grays Lake, that big win we talked about. And, you know, that's a program that's come on the last couple of years. They had that great defense 2 years ago and was solid last year. And there you see what everyone else did last week, and Lake Zurich falling to Grays Lake. And
Lake Zurich.
Huntley joining the crew.
Well, this is Huntley's first year in the Fox Valley, correct?
I believe so.
And Lake Zurich,
Second year, but we still kind of count them. They're a relatively new school, the conference play.
Good look at Neil Figueroa right there, number 22, sensational running back for the Warriors, but he has been contained by the Libertyville defense tonight. Had a big 92-yard run early in the ball game last week, Perry. 92 yards from the line of scrimmage.
You know, they could use one of those here right now.
Or a couple of them, but you got to get one at a time. Jeremy Fisher.
It's at the 15-yard line. It wouldn't be 92, but it'd be a nice 85-yard run. We've always seen one of those here tonight. And Schwader has stopped at the line of scrimmage, so we have a 3rd down coming up.
Boy, the one impressive thing about that Libertyville defense is the tackling, Perry. They have not missed many tackles. That time it was Ryan Gavigan, number 21, just standing up, Schwader watching the instant replay here. Good look at the trenches inside. Nice blocking, but look at the tackle there. And it was actually a little bit of Gavilan, but it was also a lot of Kevin Koza, number 22, who made an absolutely textbook tackle, pad on pad, chest on chest, and stood up Schwader in his tracks. That's the way it'll get it done. Libertyville teammates will be cheering that in the film room.
Well, they said he had enough progress forward to get the first down, so 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line. Fresh set of downs for the Warriors. On the ground, Figueroa trying to squirt through, but nothing doing, as once again one of those making the stop was Norcia.
Yep. It looks like the McHenry running back down here. I like the strategy. If you're Chad Hetlet right now, you don't want to see Noel Figueroa down on the ground. It might just be a little bit of exhaustion here, but they're going to come out and check him out. Let's hope he is healthy. Outstanding senior running back. Coach Hetlet coming out to check him out, and here come the trainers.
28-0 your score with 9:06 remaining.
But I like the strategy, Perry, by McHenry. Well, we'll talk about it after this.
We have some outstanding programming each and every week here on the Comcast Network. This is just yet another one. It is Inside Comcast. And with your host, Kelly Palizzi, they'll take you inside Comcast, offering you digital tips, technical tidbits, and highlights from Comcast involvement in your community. So catch Inside Comcast. That's Friday nights at 9:30. And for additional showtimes, please log on to ComcastNetwork.tv.
I guarantee you, Kelly Pelosi watches the replay of this football game. She will be impressed by that Libertyville defense. And there you see Noel Figueroa down. Let's see if we can get a look at the replay. What happened? A lot of bodies in there. Tough to tell on that replay. Possibly a twisted ankle, Perry, but boy, you hate to see him down. And the McHenry fans right now, and coaches and teammates, all kind of collectively holding their breath. Good look at the crowd right there. Beautiful, beautiful early September Labor Day weekend, Friday night here. Week 2 of the football season.
Well, they're able to get him on his feet. The crowd is applauding, but nervously. They're going to try to assist him off. Boy, that's tough.
Yeah, you don't want to see the score 28-0 and then have your star running back carried off the field. That's adding a little bit of salt to the wound, but hopefully he'll be okay. Looking at him walk off, it looks like he will be.
What an outstanding athlete that young man is. I mean, we talk about the football prowess. Nice round of applause. Last year, all he did was run for more than 1,300 yards and score 21 touchdowns. And we talked about how well he did in that state track meet in the 100 and 200 meters. And he's given all effort tonight, and Libertyville has contained him, but there's no quitting that young athlete.
Chad Hetlet trying to fire up his McHenry troops. And I started to mention, Perry, I like the approach of this most recent drive before Figueroa got injured. Chad Hetlet showing his maturity, telling his offensive team, let's not worry about the score right now. Good look at Noel trying to catch his breath. The trainers checking him over. But, instead of firing the ball downfield, trying to score 2 touchdowns in a short period of time, you could tell their strategy on this most recent drive. Try to establish the ground game, see if they can get one score, get an offensive drive, get some confidence going for their offensive unit.
Big game at Woodstock next week, as we mentioned. And that's always a fun place to go to. And
they'll be flinging the football there. Brandon Benda likes to put the ball up in the air.
Oh, he had a man over shot Schwader. Kuzieski was turned around defensively. So 3rd and 7 coming up for the McHenry Warriors.
Heck of a running back right there. Jake Schwader, he too has been contained pretty well tonight. Jake, the senior. Back up last year, one of their team captains. Actually, he ran a little bit last year, had 637 yards, so more than a backup last year, but this year as a senior becomes one of the feature backs. 52 yards and 8 carries in the first week of the season for Jake.
3rd down. Here's Fisher. Straight ahead, nothing doing at the line of scrimmage. Once again, it's Norcia coming on in.
Yeah, Sean Morgan, number 63 there too, the Libertyville defense. This is probably the last series the first string unit is going to be in. They're coming off the field now. The Libertyville fans giving them a nice hand. 6 consecutive quarters for the first unit of being unscored upon. And Perry, they were really, I'm not going to say untested, but they never really gave up a long drive tonight. They were absolutely brilliant. In particular, their tackling. Very few broken tackles by the McHenry team. Libertyville's defense, extremely impressive.
Klink punting yet again tonight. He's been busy, but he has been effective. Another nice punt. Fair catch by Burns on his own 48-yard line. Now they're going to say he's at the 47 and a half. 1st and 10. Now let's see if there's any changes. No, they're going to send that first unit out, Coach, for Libertyville.
Well, I'll tell you, the one thing you're impressed with Libertyville, Perry, is the depth of weapons that they have, both offensively and defensively. You can look at Noel Figueroa. I doubt he's going to come back in the ballgame. They'll probably rest him up, but it looks like he's going to be okay, just shaken up a bit. But Libertyville, with the depth of quality players that they have, Perry, on both the offensive and defensive side.
And another flag goes down on the pitch to the man in motion sits.
There's a lot of guys in the white jerseys out here that have never actively played in a game that they've lost at the football level, and that goes all the way back to 6th grade, an amazing record. Of course, some of them played in the state championship game. A lot of them were on the bench last year watching the game. Even though the team lost, of course, they were not active participants. So clearly it's a group of guys on the Libertyville team not used to losing, not used to it at all.
The offside penalty this time on the defense. So 1st and 5 now at the McHenry 47. I don't think there's much secret what the Wildcats will do. Let's keep it on the ground. Of course, every time I say something like that, they do the opposite. But not this time. And Fontana just bottled up there.
You a little bit,
loss on the play.
A little bit surprised, Perry. 7:36 left in the ball game. 28-0 score. A little bit surprised the starters still in.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe there's some little game conditioning, too, that's going on.
Yeah, but I got to get my second quarterback ready to play, whoever the backup quarterback might be. I want some of my other running backs to get a little PT, and I don't want guys like Jeff Fontana getting injured. I say get them out of there, bring the second guys in. It's a win-win situation. You got some playing time for your other kids, and you prevent injuries from your key senior starters. This guy's been great tonight.
Very impressed with that young quarterback. Yep. And players running everywhere. Let's go out on the field. Don Johnson for an injury update, DJ.
Okay, we got an update on senior Noel Figueroa's situation right now. The trainer's still checking him out. He wants to go back in, but it looks like he may have a mild concussion, and I don't think he's going to go back into the game right now. They're still checking him out, and he has the energy. He's up. He wants to go on the field, but I don't think he's going to go back. Let's go back upstairs.
All right,
to John
thanks,
and Perry.
Don. Thanks very much. It's always an interesting term is a mild concussion.
Yeah, it's only mild if it's not yours.
If it's not yours.
It's like when you go in for minor surgery.
Yes.
It ain't minor if it's on you.
It's you. So anyway.
By the way, if Don can still hear us, tell the athletic trainer my hamstring on the left side is a little bit sore.
Here's the pass. And complete, getting a block and all the way down to the 15-yard line. Of course, once again, the receiver that time was Kenley, J.P. Kenley. And no sooner do they say that they will be probably just keeping it on the ground, they put it in the air. What do they tell you? They'll do the opposite.
Yeah, we talk about the weapons Libertyville has on offense. Brett Lancaster, extremely impressive in his second ever varsity start. Flings the ball out to his favorite receiver, J.P. Kenley. Yet another offensive weapon for the Libertyville Wildcats. Nice yak, yards after catch, good run after the catch. Finally brought down by the McHenry defense, but Libertyville on the march for touchdown number 5.
Getting a nice block there by Greg Larson, too. Here's Kevin Burns. He had a long run last week. Good yardage on the first down carry. Stays in bounds. Coming on 6 minutes remaining in our ball game.
There's a lot of high school teams, Perry, that would like to have that young man right there as their feature running back. I honestly believe Kevin Burns could start easy for a lot of other teams at the running back position. Libertyville's so loaded that they have the luxury of bringing Burns offensively off the bench and let him play his specialty position, defensive back.
So a nice pickup of 8 yards on that carry. The ball all the way down at the 7-yard line, so they can indeed pick up a first and goal to goal. Straight ahead they go. Fontana just powers his way, helped by the offensive line, and now a flag goes down. They may make a call on that, Coach.
Well, he got in for a touchdown. The power and the drive and the will to the end zone of Jeff Fontana might be called back, but another brilliant run by big number 32. Referee's going to talk it over. Let's watch on the replay straight ahead. Nothing fancy here, Perry Williams. Watch the blocking up front, too. Very nicely done.
But watch the little push, the little extra effort escort.
That's what the call is,
Yep.
huh?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, his good buddy up on the front line, number 51. That's taking teamwork one step too far, Jack Danlowitz. Pushing him into the end zone, but either way, great run by Jack Fontana. Jeff Fontana.
So the official call is aiding the runner.
Mm-hmm. Well,
we just call it pushing the runner forward.
The few times I actually got the ball in my high school football career, I was extremely, I needed all the aid I could get, trust me.
I do.
Thank you.
5:24. And straight ahead, Fontana doesn't make any difference. Into the end zone, Jeff Fontana for another touchdown for the Libertyville Wildcats.
And that was all offensive line. That time they broke open a huge hole. Fontana's had to break some tackles tonight, but not that time. Great blocking up front as the Libertyville Wildcats strike for touchdown number 5. You see number 68 up there for the Wildcats. Good blocking from Eric Pickell, 6'3", 270-pound senior.
Extra point attempt. Snap is down. The kick is up. And for the 7th time tonight, the kick is up, and it is actually the 5th time tonight. It is good.
Yeah, watch the replay. Watch the blocking, the surge up front. Beautiful offensive line play. The hole opening up for Jeffrey Fontana. It's almost unfair to give a quality running back like Fontana that much room. Nick Kreitman, David Mooseman, Kyle Rhodes, the center, Patrick Engel doing a great job on the blocking up front.
Yeah, you, me, and Don Johnson all could go through our locked-in arm, and hole was that big. Well, maybe.
I'd need Don pushing me through. Talk about McHenry and Libertyville having good size in the front line. We got good size on the sidelines tonight, Barry. Don Johnson doing his usual
outstanding.
Great job on the sidelines. A pleasure to have him down there. Ex-player for teaching now at Libertyville High School, but of course Don had a fine football career at Northwestern University, played for the Wildcats.
Yep. And of course we enjoy working with Don and also Eric Schmidt. They're all our announcing and all our production and crew. The crew gets out here so early, and they set up, do a great job in all these different locations. And every stadium and every field, Coach, are a little different, so little nuances. And
as the season wears on, the weather gets colder and windier out there. The camera crew, of course, has to brave the weather conditions to bring you the great pictures, the great replays that we get on a regular basis.
Interesting article, too, is that now with all these lights coming into Deerfield, Highland Park, Buffalo, only one school now in Lake County, and that being Lake Forest, does not have lights. So they still play Saturday afternoons, but more and more on Friday night. And here's the handoff. Plenty of running room once again. It is D'Angelo still on his feet, finally brought down at the 47-yard line, so that special teams trickery works again for the Warriors.
First time the reverse went to Figueroa. This time it goes to Matt D'Angelo. What a ball game he's having. An outstanding senior, and they executed beautifully off the special teams and pick up some big yards. Good look at Paul Wurzba. Very talented senior for McHenry. Watching the replay, it's all about execution, Perry. This is hard for high school teams to pull off the timing. And the key is he takes 4, 5, 6, 7 steps towards the sidelines, draws the pursuit, and the Libertyville special teams coverage breaks down just a bit right there.
Now in a shotgun for the first time tonight. Pass is complete to Wurzba, and he has a first down and more, still on his feet, and finally tackled inside the 15.
He's been strangely quiet tonight. He's usually not that quiet. Paul Wurzba, number 3, another one of the track sprinters for the McHenry team. And Jeremy Fisher has shown us, Perry, when he has time, he can throw the football. A beautiful pass and a great run after catch by Wurzba.
Let's take another look at it. Libertyville, by the way, now coach with the second team defense in.
Back in the shotgun, though. Saw the tail end of the play right there. Nice tackle. It's like number 27 for the Wildcats, bringing him down. Kevin Robertson, the junior.
So 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Now a little pump fake, still in trouble, throws it away by Fisher. So 2nd and 10 coming up, no call.
Yeah, just like last week, now they're bringing the second defensive unit out. Jeremy Fisher, the starting quarterback, coming over to Chad Hetlett, the outstanding first-year coach for McHenry, going to get the play call. McHenry would love to put some points on the board, but valuable playing time. And, you know, we mentioned a lot of guys for Libertyville inexperienced this year, but actually they did get a lot of experience last year. They had so many blowout games that in the second half, a lot of the juniors and a few of the sophomores got significant playing time last year. So even though they were not starters, they did get to play a lot.
Out of the gun again is Fisher. Nice time, has a man. Just cannot connect with D'Angelo in that corner of the end zone.
Love the way that kid plays high school football. Matt D'Angelo leaving everything out here on the football field. Really plays the game hard offensively, defensively. Outstanding athlete. Impressed with his game. Number 41 for the Warriors, a senior. Now you got to watch out for the interception right now. The Libertyville defensive backs can sit back, and you can see with unit number 2, they're not quite getting the same pressure on the quarterback, shotgun or otherwise, that first unit did. They really didn't show a weakness, that first unit, Perry. The coverage was good, the tackling was outstanding, and they got great pressure on the quarterback on a consistent basis.
Now under center, a little pump fake.
Oh, nice play.
Around into the end zone for the touchdown is Schwader. And, Coach, there are no flags on the field. Touchdown, McHenry Warriors.
Yeah, you got to keep that baby in a playbook. That was beautiful. Well executed, the fake pass, and then just a little quick handoff sweep around the left side. Beautifully done, and the McHenry fans finally getting something to cheer about. A nice offensive drive directed by Jeremy Fisher.
There goes the shutout. The Warriors on the board. 4:37 remaining.
Well, if you're scouting McHenry, hopefully you didn't leave too soon, because they're going to keep that play in the playbook. That was nicely done. Deception, such a big part of the football game, and that fake pass and then the quick give around the left side really faked out a lot of the Libertyville defenders.
Klink.
First kick attempt today.
And the extra point attempt is up, and it is good. So McHenry gets on the board on a nifty touchdown run. We'll take a look at it, Coach Cohn.
Yeah, this is beautifully done here. The quarterback, Jeremy Fisher, he's the key. He sells the fake. There's a little reverse by Jake Schwader. And then it is sheer speed around the left side. You ain't going to catch Jake Schwader easily into the end zone. And again, the deception, the key, nicely done by McHenry. Notice the way Schwader went about 2-3 steps to the right. Watching the replay here, and he draws the linebacker that's keying on him, Perry. Goes that way. You got to sell the fake. A lot of high school kids will not be patient enough to let the fake, let the play unfold. And there you see Schwader turn back the other way, cut against the grain, and come back for the touchdown run. Can't rush your fake. You have to let the fake play out. Very difficult to do in a game situation.
And it worked to perfection that time as McHenry scores the touchdown, and now they will kick off for the first time since the opening kickoff of the game.
Only be the second time tonight. Libertyville is going to get to practice their kick return team. Of course, I'm sure the special teams coaches have warned the Libertyville team of the potential of the onside kick. We might have the dreaded all-hands team in right now, Perry.
And it is indeed the all-hands. They only have one man deep. There's also the possibility of the old pooch kickoff.
Yeah, exactly. I think
over those
Libertyville,
front couple of lines.
They got too many players up close. I'd pop it right beyond, somewhere about the 35-yard line right now. You go and chase that ball, you're going to recover it. I don't like Libertyville's setup here.
There's the kick, and it is covered up by Fontana, and a flag is down.
What's the flag for?
I think it was offsides on the kick. Or a procedure penalty.
Yeah, one of the players a little over-anxious.
Yeah, on the onside.
Yeah, that's not a bad gamble. The penalty doesn't hurt you too much right there. Yeah, see, I think McHenry played into the hands of Libertyville right there. They got too many guys up front. You need to get that little medium-range kick right now. They got one guy deep, and they have 10 guys within 5 yards of each other.
A little pop-up.
Absolutely. There's the deep man. Kevin Burns. Kevin, I think, realizing that that ball's probably never going to come to him. You never know. They might pop it downfield.
Now Lomax saying something to the kicker.
Little trickery here. Let's see what McHenry's got in mind. The corporal, Andy Klink.
Colonel. There's the pop-up, coach, and a fair catch made there and nicely covered by Libertyville. And it was J.P. Kenley.
Klink was a colonel?
Yes.
What was Schultz?
Sergeant
Schultz.
Sergeant Hogan. We don't have a Hogan here.
I know nothing.
Well, people have noticed that for years, Coach. You and me both. So Libertyville has it on their own 47, 1st and 10. And
now let's take a look at the offensive unit. We still got Lancaster in at quarterback. Trying to check the numbers of the running backs in the ball game right now. Lancaster getting some extra PT tonight.
Looking at their roster, they do not another flag. They do not have another player listed on the roster as a quarterback.
That's interesting. Well, they better get one quick, because you never know. Although Lancaster's a big, strong kid, it's hard to believe he's going to get injured, but nevertheless, football can be that type of game, so you got to have a backup quarterback ready to go. You always got to remember you are one play away. You get a look in the replay. Here's the offsides penalty. Another great look from our soon-to-be award-winning Comcast camera crew. Outstanding job tonight, but yeah, I'm a firm believer you got to have that backup quarterback ready to go, pair.
1st and 15 now at the 42.
You never know when that guy's called upon. Could be late in the season. Could be a playoff time when your quarterback goes down, gets the flu. You never know what can happen. You need two good quarterbacks to win at any level, high school, college, or pro.
And now this is a new running back seeing some action.
Like Eric Cusack.
Eric Cusack. He's a 5'7", 160-pound junior. He gets a first down.
Boy, again, Lancaster just selling the fakes. They are so good at that out of that wing T offense, really selling the misdirection, making it very tough for the defense to concentrate. There you see Eric Cusack picking up big yards, nice tackle eventually down the field by number 35, Mark Otemsk. Let me try that again. Mark Otmaskin for McHenry, number 35. Probably
So
going
they
to keep the ball on the ground, I would think.
Yep. Burns now set back, so Fontana is done. Here sits again, cuts it upfield. He's at the 30, he's at the 20, he's at the 10, sits, driven out of bounds. What an evening for Sitz, finally driven out of bounds by Massheimer. Massheimer got the corner on him, but 1st and goal to go for Libertyville.
Looks like Tommy Sitz comes up limping a little bit. There's the misdirection. You got running backs going in all directions. Defense not sure where the ball is. Finally, they pick up Tom Sitz, and when they do, he is breaking it downfield. We've seen that sight often tonight. Number 6 down the sidelines, taken out of bounds. Nice tackle, and there you can see Tom Sitz getting injured a little bit on that play. I'm sure he's okay, but he got up a little gingerly.
So now they will have Burns in the sit spot, and they bring back Fontana. 1st and goal at the 6-yard line, 3:31 remaining. Straight ahead, Fontana. Maybe a yard. So don't forget, we'll have our Comcast Daily Herald Player of the Game interview with Don Johnson on the field right after the conclusion of our ball game here tonight.
A lot of candidates for that one on the offensive and defensive side for Libertyville. It's going to be tough to choose just one. It's been a brilliant performance all around by that Libertyville team. Now 2-0 on the season after tonight's win, Perry.
It's been a long time since I think McHenry too, 0-2,
Yep.
but tough couple of weeks. But they have a great program, an enthusiastic coaching staff, and we know the tradition up here with the Warriors. And
yeah, even if they were to get beat by Woodstock, and obviously that's going to be a tough call next week. Let's watch the play. Kevin Burns, nice tackle.
But he's into the end zone for the touchdown. The tackle a little too late, Coach, for a touchdown for the Wildcats.
Yeah, the defensive back, Kevin Burns, getting a little bit of a score tonight as the Libertyville shares the wealth and the fans continue to enjoy the action. But Perry, even if McHenry were to lose next week, that still would not put them out of the playoff picture, because this is a team, once they get used to the system here with their talent, if they stay healthy, they could get on a run. Their schedule would dictate, even if they started 0-3, they still would have a decent chance, I think, of keeping that 16-year playoff streak alive.
Fontana the holder. The extra point is up, and it is good. So with 2:40 remaining in the game, it's now 42-7. Libertyville over McHenry. We thank you for watching our ball game tonight, by the way, everybody, and all our games here on Comcast. Wherever you might be in our Comcast coverage area, as we mentioned, in the southwest suburbs, the west suburbs, northwest suburbs, north, wherever you might be, the best high school football is right here on Comcast. And here's a replay of the touchdown as Kevin Burns. And what's really impressive is how well the receivers block on the wideouts and create those lanes, and the ability for these running backs to either cut it back upfield or have seal the sideline for them to get big yardage or perhaps even score.
No question about it. Fundamentally sound, well-schooled, well-coached, small part of the game, but it's a big part of the game, and you're right. Not only the blocking up front, but the blocking by the skill position players. Good look at a couple of the McHenry players trying to liquidate themselves on a fairly warm Friday night here at McHenry High School.
So Schwader and D'Angelo will be deep for the Warriors.
Guy right there has been busy tonight, Matt Partain. Hopefully they didn't wear out his foot. He's got a big soccer game over the weekend, but he's been a big bonus. You see he's stepping off. Every field goal kicker has his own little routine, Perry. I would think Matt Partain probably still developing his.
He had a field goal last week, plus he does a pretty good job in the kickoff, so this one goes out of bounds, but that will come with practice. He's drilled several into the end zone. That's a good offensive weapon on the high school level.
Yeah, no question. Matt Partain going to be a key factor for that Libertyville team. McHenry going to get the one last shot on the offensive side of the ball. They scored a touchdown last time. Let's see if they can put a drive together here. Still got plenty of time to do it. They don't have to rush. 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And we'll look out there, Perry. I don't think we're going to see Noel Figueroa.
There you see one of the outstanding members of our crew with the
catching the sounds of the game.
Artem Okolik is the young man there holding the parabolic and getting all those outstanding sounds. And
what's that thing called?
The parabolic.
I got injured once.
It's an old Greek term.
Had to have a parabolic come and save me.
Also called like a little mini satellite dish or audio dish, I should say. But this is cable, of course.
Yeah, well, that's added a lot to the games ever since they started using those, when you can not only see the game with the improvement of the cameraman, but when you can also hear the game, it certainly adds to the enjoyment of watching the ball games, Perry, no question.
Out of the shotgun yet again. Going long, downfield, has a man, just overshoots D'Angelo at the 32-yard line. What an effort by that young man, Matt D'Angelo.
They had a little separation between him and the defense that time. Jeremy Fisher putting just a little bit too much on the football. Otherwise, McHenry would have had a quick 6 and a big play. Watch, one of the rare times tonight, Jeremy Fisher has time to throw the football, and you could see he's got a nice arm, perfect spiral, just overthrew it. Almost looked like D'Angelo lost his footing at the very end of the play, Perry.
So third down coming up, 3rd and 10 at the 35.
Yeah, see, I think if they can get that passing game going, and they're showing signs of it here in the second half, then all of a sudden Schwader and Figueroa are going to be awfully tough for defenses to stop. So this McHenry offense struggling early in the season, but they may get it going.
Here's the same play they scored the touchdown on, just to the other side, and a first down by Schwader. So keeps the drive alive.
Right now, obviously, they score out of reach, but what you're trying to do, if you're Chad Hetlett and company, you're trying to build confidence in your offense in particular to help you next week. You got a big game against Woodstock. The psyche of your team, very important. Libertyville team comfortable on the sidelines, but another score here would be big for McHenry.
Now going on the near sideline, has a man, D'Angelo, and he cannot hold on. He had it fall through his arms.
Well, fatigue might be part of the problem right now for Matt D'Angelo. He's been an awful lot of time on the football field tonight. Number 41, you mentioned what a great game he's playing, and you can see he is he's working on fumes right now. He is awfully tired. Good pass again by Jeremy Fisher as he airs it out late in the ball game. Oof, tough break. That's a pass D'Angelo normally will catch. Great pass by Fisher. Good protection by the offensive line.
Right. That time he was under center.
Yep.
And now he falls back in the shotgun. This time it is now intercepted by Libertyville. So nice job defensively as Libertyville that time was waiting, and is intercepted by Sean Cummins.
6'2", 175-pound junior Sean Cummins. You throw the ball that much late in the game, Perry, this is bound to happen. Jeremy Fisher up in the air. Nice interception by Cummins. The one good thing for McHenry offensively tonight, last week 5 turnovers. They have been much more careful with the football tonight. Handled the ball pretty well. I think that's their first turnover.
We had the one on the punt return by Libertyville, the fumble, and so only 2 turnovers tonight, although a lot of penalties, of course, but only 2 turnovers, so that is a bright spot of sorts.
It's a huge improvement from last week. And I would think Libertyville will just sit on the football now. 1 minute and 9 seconds left. This ball game is going to come to a close here with the Libertyville Wildcats pulling out the big win.
Yeah, he'll take a knee.
Yeah, when the rankings came out, and you can only put so much stock in the preseason ratings, Perry, top 20, you look at all the different newspaper, all the different polls, there was no Libertyville Wildcat team in sight. Not many returning starters, no big names, but I think you're going to see this Libertyville team climb back into that top 20 real quick and start moving to the top. I think they were number 13 in the Daily Herald poll, and after this game, they're going to shoot much higher.
And certainly there will be some wars in that conference with Stevenson and with Warren, and what a season that will be as they are going to just let the clock go. This should be the last play of the game. Takes another knee.
Yeah, you want to work on your high school football calendar right now. A couple of dates to put on the calendar this year. September 23rd, Libertyville going to be hosting Stevenson. That will be an amazing game. And then they are at Warren October 8th. Those will be 2 real good high school football games to see. Particularly, I think Stevenson-Libertyville this year, Perry, is going to be a great one.
Final seconds are ticking by as Libertyville led at halftime 21-0, and they wrap it up in the second half by the final score of 42-7 over the McHenry Warriors. We'll be back with our Comcast Daily Herald Player of the Game interview right after this.
You're watching the Comcast Network. Turn to us first.
The Comcast Network, featuring original programming exclusive to Chicagoland, is on the web at ComcastNetwork.tv. Access show information and schedules for all the programs aired on the Comcast Network, from upcoming festivals to high school sports. Get details about our exclusive coverage in your community. Political insight, entertainment news, and your chance to win great prizes are all just a mouse click away when you log on to ComcastNetwork.tv.
Welcome back, everyone, as our final score here tonight is Libertyville 42 and the McHenry Warriors 7. Now let's go on the field and join Don Johnson with our Comcast Daily Herald Player of the Game. Don?
Down on the field with senior running back Tom Simpson. Outstanding performance here tonight. I was talking with Coach Coos earlier in the day, and he was saying that you put in a lot of hard work in the offseason to sort of get yourself to the peak that you are now.
Jeff Fontana and myself worked out with our running back coach, Coach Larson, so I'd have to give him some credit.
Okay. What were some of the things you were doing in the off season?
Wind sprints and resistance training.
All right. 10 carries, 216 yards, 2 touchdowns for Tommy Sitz. What were some of those things that you did? You talked about wind sprints, running backs working out.
Resistance training, wind sprints.
You got North Chicago coming up next at home, and now that'll be another challenge that the Wildcats will have to take on. How do you feel about that, your performance tonight and going into North Chicago?
We're going to take it 1 week at a time. And I got to give a shout out to Kevin Burns, Cal Nader, Jeff Fontana.
Okay.
So take it.
Well, congratulations on a very successful game. Good luck against North Chicago, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
All right, thanks very much. And you see a lot of excitement in Libertyville. Any final thoughts, Coach?
They ought to be excited. They look awfully good this year, Perry. 2-0. They're going to be a tough team to beat. And for the McHenry Warriors, you got to weather the storm here early in the year. They're going to be a tough team to beat, but tough times right now as they lose their first couple of games.
Final score here tonight, 42-7. Don't forget, next week we'll have another great matchup for you. It will be Zion Benton and Warren right here on Comcast. So make sure you tune in each and every week for exciting football coverage throughout the Comcast viewing area. So for the coach, John Cohn, for Don Johnson along the sidelines, for our producer-director here tonight, Mr. Frank Granito, and our entire Comcast production team. This is Perry Williams saying thanks so much for watching, and so long, everybody.